Hello and welcome to the Strategic Bookkeeper Podcast. I have just wrapped a conversation with Jimmy Rose from Content Snare. I was really excited to have Content Snare come on the podcast after learning about it from Claire Beckett, who was a guest on my podcast episode 71, where we dived into systems and team. So Content Snare is an incredibly cool piece of software, to say the least. It's all about communication, okay? It's all about client communication. And honestly, I talk about client comms as a secret marketing weapon. So this is going to help you to get what you need from your clients, right? Which is also going to improve the client experience, also known as a customer experience. And that is a big part of marketing, okay? So when you bring your clients on, the experience they have, and honestly, a big part of that is communication, is going to dictate their level of satisfaction. We want to always be pushing client satisfaction up. That's going to help you with retention, referrals. So Content Snare makes your life easier. It makes your client's life easier as well. And it really, in effect, is a marketing tool because it improves the customer experience, therefore client satisfaction. So let's jump in where you can meet Jimmy. He's going to introduce himself, so I'll let him do that and I'll see you in there. I'm Jeannie Savage, the Strategic Bookkeeper. I've been in practice for 14 years, but more importantly, 5 years in, I achieved a lifestyle practice. This means I scaled my business, could take my hands off the wheel, and draw a nice six-figure income while being time rich. And that's what I call my dream on my terms. I was recently awarded Women in Finance Innovator of the Year, recognizing my book, my podcast, my program, and my impact globally. The Strategic Bookkeeper is my life's work, and the opportunity to help bookkeepers globally achieve the income and lifestyle that sets them free absolutely fills my cup. Please do connect with me on socials at the Strategic Bookkeepers Way private Facebook group, or shoot me an email, hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. Before we get into today's episode, I want to let you know that the Bookkeeping Practice Blueprint Summit is running over 3 days, August 27, 28, 29. This summit brings you 3 days of incredible content from more than 15 speakers, including me. This is all designed to help you start, grow, or scale your bookkeeping practice. The theme is practice management mastery end to end. So that means win the work front end through to do the work back end. And please stay tuned because in a minute, I'm going to tell you how you can get a free trial of my signature transformation program. Now, this is a rare opportunity and this is not something that I will be offering again anytime soon. I speak to bookkeepers regularly at every stage of the journey. Some tell me I don't even know where to start. Others say I just can't seem to find new clients. Then there are those who are booked but broken, overworked, underpaid, overwhelmed. I have been every stage. And the scaling bookkeepers trying to go from good to great, they tell me they want simple to learn, sell, and deliver advisory plus efficiency through systems and so on. Now, that is exactly why I created the Bookkeeping Practice Blueprint Summit, to solve those problems, answer those questions, and give you real tools and strategies that actually work. Over 3 days, you'll hear from 15 plus industry experts, including me, all focused on helping you win the work, do the work, and build the kind of practice you envisioned in the first place. One with raving fan clients, high income, and time off. Now, in terms of how to register and attend, you can absolutely attend for free. That is my gift to you. You can get your ticket at www.thebookkeepingpracticeblueprint.com, and we are going to drop that into the show notes. Now, there is also a VIP pass offer, which I absolutely think you should get, and I'd like to explain why. So first of all, I love summits. I attend them myself, and some of them have been absolute game changers for my business. And I truly believe, I know that this summit can be the same for your business, especially with the VIP upgrade. Okay. So here's what you get in the VIP upgrade. So you get ongoing access to all summit recordings. So I personally love this when I buy summits, because then I can listen to everything and kind of podcast style, even if they're video presentations. My whole team will use the summit, right? And I can go back and cherry pick what we need, and amazing. So that's the ongoing access. You are going to get a private podcast feed. I'm really excited about this. I didn't even know my team was going to do it. All the content is going to go into a podcast feed that opens in your native podcast app that makes the user experience incredible. And let me tell you, from attending summits where it wasn't incredible, it's going to save you so much time. Next thing, tools and resources for the 3 workshops that I'm personally going to run. So everyone can attend my 3 workshops, whether you're coming in free or you're getting the VIP upgrade. If you get the upgrade, you'll get a workbook, a checklist, and a group coaching call with me specifically to help you implement what you're learning in my workshops. And lastly, the thing I'm most excited about, which is mind-blowing to me, I did not come up with this idea, but I have approved it, and that is a 7-day trial of the Strategic Bookkeeper Transformation Program. And along with that, I have decided to provide the trial members a bonus group coaching call, because I want you all to be able to get support as you go through your 7-day trial in the transformation program. Now, the value of the bonus, I don't even think I can put a number on it. We're saying $3,000 plus. It is incredible. The first release of the VIP pass is going to go out for $57 US, and then it will go up from there. So if you're keen and you go to the link and you register, I just recommend that you grab that first offer of the VIP pass, because that pricing won't last. So if you need to pause this podcast and click the link in the show notes, go for it. Just a reminder, it is the bookkeepingpracticeblueprint.com. Back to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast, Jimmy.
Honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yay. What time is it? 2:00 here on a Thursday afternoon. And both you and I were just talking about how busy we've been. Sometimes it's like my head is spinning. What's next on the list? Which I'm sure bookkeepers can relate to, right?
Everyone. It is crazy. But yeah, I feel like bookkeepers are one of the more busy industries of people I've ever met.
They are. We're actually, just as I record this next week, it'll probably be done by the time this says, but next week we're running a busy bookkeeper reset challenge. So
nice.
Yeah, the busy bookkeeper. Okay, so let's jump in, because I really wanted to bring Jimmy from Content Snare on, because when I first heard about Content Snare, I was just like, oh my Lord, tell me more. And I now actually refer it to people outside bookkeeping as well, including my partner, he's in Fin Services. So before we jump into all that juicy stuff, Jimmy, could you tell us a little about who you are, a bit about you, Content Snare, anything that you would like to share?
Sure. I mean, going back far enough, I was a control systems engineer, which is a funny way of saying I'm automated big machinery. And I think that's how I ended up getting into software as a game. So now I'm the co-founder of Content Snare, which is a platform for getting information and documents and stuff from clients instead of chasing them. Also heavily involved in the, workflow automation space. So things like Zapier and Make.com. I think that is a result of all my time automating machinery that I don't get to do for fun anymore. So that's how I cope.
Awesome. So, all right, let's move into Content Snare. And before we go further, I'm just going to point my listeners to episode 71 of our podcast, where Claire Beckett is the first person who told me about Content Snare. We bookkeepers love our data. She was giving me data on, this is how long it took me to get something back without Content Snare. I think it was the ID thing. This is how fast I got it back with. And then she told me cool things she's using it for. So what is Content Snare?
I mean, same as before, it's just a way to get information from people at its core. Anyone with clients is sick of chasing them for stuff, right? The typical story is you send an email asking for 10 things, they get back with 7, maybe, if you're lucky. And 3 of them aren't even the right thing. And you've got this messy back and forth, just like chasing people for information. So Content Snare is a platform that streamlines that, gets all the information together in one place, allows you to push back on clients if they upload the wrong things, and just gets rid of all that yucky email so that you have like a nice little package of everything you need wrapped up at the end.
Yeah, because bookkeepers do list number one bugbear globally as getting stuff out of client. And then number two, marketing. And that's what we help them with as well. Okay, so when I spoke to Claire, she said the Content Snare was this portal where, let's say I send my client a request for, here in Australia, it's like your ID verified. I think it's happening everywhere, right? So I need to get your ID verified. Like I had to do it for my accountant recently and it was like, holy cow. Unlike how we do it traditionally, she said that you could kind of break it down and get them to do one thing at a time, or it was way easier. Can you give us that as an example?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's our whole thing, is making it one thing at a time for clients to focus on. So like, this isn't just for ID, right? This is for everything. If you need them to type in some questions, we'll just show one of those on screen at a time. Here's what we need you to do. Type it in. Here's a file we need you to upload. Put it here in this box, and then we need you to verify your ID. Click this button to do it. I mean, anyone who's done ID verification through a good system before, it's pretty standard, right? It's like, take a photo of the front, take a photo of the back, take a selfie, done, right? And that's all done through ID verification provider, which we are actually up in the process of looking for an upgraded version at the moment, because these things are changing around the world and there's some requirements coming in for certain professions around like politically exposed person checks and sanctions checking and all this kind of stuff, which we're going to add soon.
All right, great. So the other thing I liked, and I really only scratched the surface with Claire, but I immediately contacted Mike because I still want a bookkeeping practice, and I contact the manager and said, you've got to look at this software. She said that you can see when somebody has opened it, read it, if they've taken action on one or two or three, but not the rest, like all this jazz.
Yeah, so just think of it like a checklist. So it even literally looks like one. Down the left-hand side, it's like, we need you to verify your ID, type in this question, upload this file, whatever. And that just becomes a checklist down the side. So they can see where they're up to. We call it an activity feed. It's kind of like an audit log, is what you were mentioning there. You can see when they come into it. You can see what times they accessed it, when they received emails, when they completed questions. And so that can become really important if you ever want that proof that it's like, you didn't give us this thing until this date, and that's why your work's not done, right?
Yeah, but you don't want to be trailing through emails. I talk about, Jimmy, communication as a secret marketing weapon, and something that we do at my bookkeeping practice is we don't rely very much on email, right? Because clients have a burning desire to never, ever get another email from you again, their bookkeeper, especially not the end of month queries. And so it's obvious that Content Snare makes this easier for the client, right? Especially with catch-up notification. So for bookkeepers, the customer journey tends to be like, I reach out to you, you do a file health check, then there's the project work, and generally that is some form of catch-up notification, at which point you're asking for 20 things, right? 30 things.
Yeah.
And the person's just like, I don't even know what you're saying. And one of the complaints we got was, I've just got so many emails, I'm just not even looking anymore. So we implemented way back then just a Google Sheet where we put everything in there, and it was as much for us as them. And that way we could say, look, this is everything we're waiting on at any given time. And that way we could call them or Zoom them and go, that we've got 5, but we don't have. We'd already started doing a manual process. And honestly, the client satisfaction soared, which was amazing. So yes, I'm thinking Content Snare would be great for that kind of thing. Yes.
I mean, a lot of people will replace spreadsheets with Content Snare. In fact, I worked with a digital agency, like a marketing agency, not that long ago. And they sent me a spreadsheet like that of all the things I had to do. But some of them are like, we need this file. And that can become problematic because it's like, we need you to go over there to upload the file and then come back to the spreadsheet and just write, yes, you've done it in this box sort of thing.
Yes.
And it was actually quite funny for them because they knew what we did and they were like, I'm sorry, you have to receive this spreadsheet. We should be using Content.
Yeah, exactly. I see what you mean, because with our clients, sometimes they might have provided it, but we haven't updated the spreadsheet, or they haven't, because they've gone and emailed it instead of put it in the spreadsheet, etc. So exactly.
Yeah. What you're talking about is really important, by the way, like just that clarification, like clarity on both sides of what's done and what's still to be done, right? Like, so you can see clearly, like in a platform like Content Snare, and you can do this with a sheet too. If they're writing answers and it's a live updating, Google Sheet or an online sheet, at least everyone is on the same page, right? The danger of email is that you've got a bit over here, multiple threads. And I hear this a lot where several people from the one organization might ask a client for stuff and they don't realize it's already been sent to somebody else in the same company, right? Like, yeah, this is a really rubbish client experience. So having that central place where everyone's on the same page, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. And this is retention, referrals. We talk a lot about this and we're always trying to improve that customer experience, right? And it's not good enough, like that stuff you said, where multiple people request something or you did get it, then you got to ask for it again because it kind of got lost. We can make excuses for why that happens every day of the week, but it's not good enough. You give me any example of those end of month queries? Like I've got 15 transactions, I don't know what they are, how that works in Content Snare.
Yeah. So, I mean, two ways. Everyone sort of wants to do this a little bit differently. And thankfully, we do have that flexibility in Content Snare. So we have a table type question. You can literally just paste the uncoded lines straight into it. We've got this ability to lock a column. So let's say you've got, date, transaction amount, description, and then you need a comment, like what's this transaction for? And so you can lock the first three columns so they can't edit it. That's just data. And then they can write a comment in the final column. So that kind of works like a spreadsheet within Content Snare.
Yeah, which is really good.
And then you might put like a box underneath where they can upload any relevant evidence for those, receipts or whatever. You also might just say, go and send this to Dext if that's what you're using. We need to know what this is, but we need to just send the invoice as well or whatever.
Yeah, if possible. By that point, they usually don't have it anymore.
We're working on a feature where they'll be able to attach a file directly to the table row as well. So it doesn't have to be below. But the other way some people will do this is every transaction gets its own line and like own question, essentially. I think that works well for small amounts of queries. Otherwise, I do it in the table. But we've got a feature called Smart Request, or it's just like an AI feature where you can paste in a list of questions and it will build the request. So you don't have to go and create it like one at a time. You just paste in a list and then you've got your query list ready to go.
I think that's what Claire really loved. I mean, I like the sound of that because I've got to tell you, I'm a client to my bookkeeping practice. And if I get an email in that email, a list of transactions that they don't know what they are, I just mark it as read. I'm not interested, right? Because I would have to reply and then look at the bottom and try and do each one. I mean, luckily, I'm a bookkeeper. I can just go into my file and fix that. But if anyone else out there is doing that, your clients are pissed, and pissed is not where you want them.
Yeah, look, I personally prefer the spreadsheet option as a client, just because it's easy for me. I mean, either one would be fine because I'm doing like
I like
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Very rarely is it more than like 4 queries for us. So, that it's quick no matter what, but I like to be able to see it all in one, I guess. And that's why the table option could be better. Interestingly, like some people use Content Snare where they still use a spreadsheet and they just have like a thing in Content Snare. It's like a tick box that says, click here, go and complete this spreadsheet, and then come back and tick the box to tell us when you're done with queries, right? Like some people do that too.
I wondered about that, using it in that way. Yeah.
And I mean, funny, people even use it for guiding clients through a process. Like I know the client agent linking situation is, it's like, go to here, go to this government portal, complete these steps, come back and like do this and then do this. And it like actually walks you through. You say, once you finish this, tick this box. Have you already linked your RAN onto your company? Yes or no? And if they say no, here's the instructions how to do that. When you're done, now tick this box. So people actually use it for training and walkthroughs as well.
Yeah.
Another example is if you need access to their Xero, for example, it's like, here's the instructions on how to add us to your Xero file. Watch this video or read this information. And it's just a checkbox at the end that says, yes, I've added you, So it can be like a telling them to do a thing rather than getting information as well.
Eons ago, and I think a lot of bookkeepers and accountants that I meet, they think that their clients have more abilities than they do. And I kind of feel for the clients because, even bookkeepers and accountants, they're very different people to the classic entrepreneur, right? And so I think smarter comms in that way. Xero access is the classic one. So I realized 10 or so years ago, if I said, could I get access to your Xero file? They go, sure. And then it's like, oh, that's not the access I need. This is ridiculous. So we quickly did the video and it was amazing, right? Like the change was transformational. So for anyone out there listening, Jimmy, I heard this amazing etiquette coach say, we've all heard treat others as we want to be treated. She said, no, that's wrong. Forget that. I know. She said, treat others as they want to be treated, right?
Oh, boom.
Yeah. Do you know, bookkeepers, we treat everyone as we want to be treated. So we love email. We're detailed people. We can follow instructions. We're not dyslexic. And some of our clients are dyslexic, right? So yeah, for bookkeepers out there, if you're frustrated that your clients aren't doing what you ask them to do, it's your responsibility to understand why and then to basically make it easy. And we've been doing that for over a decade in our practice. So that's why when I found Content Snare, I was like, this tool that does it for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And well, I mean, not necessarily all for you, because in this case, obviously makes the process better, but you just nailed something there where it's like, if clients are messing something up or they're not giving you things, it generally is an indication that you need to help them through the process more, right? Yeah. We massively advocate for this. So someone might have a template checklist that they send to clients generally, right? And it's like, okay, we're noticing clients are messing this bit up all the time. That's a really good indication to go back in and add more instructions. We call it instructions. For any question, you can put videos and screenshots and text and whatever, links. It's an indication that you go and edit your template, make that question better. So next time you send it, you're not having that same problem, right? What you highlighted there, there's literally a phrase for this. It's called the curse of knowledge. If you know something so well, it's very hard to put yourself in someone else's shoes who doesn't know it, because it's just second nature to you, right? But this is what you have to do. When you're asking a client to do something, you've got to assume they know nothing. Choose your most difficult client and then pretend they're 5 years old and then explain it to them. And if you can explain it, like what you need them to do, to the 5-year-old who's like also your most difficult client, then everyone else is going to have an easy time as well, right? People like you and I, if we already know what to do, it's not like we get mad because there's more instructions there. You just skip over it and do the thing. Yep. This was a huge turning point in my own sort of knowledge, like building our website, right? It's got lots of words on it. And I'm like, I don't want a website with lots of words. I'm like fighting with the writers and the website builders. I just want screenshots and to see what it does. You know what? Some people want screenshots, but some people want to read. And the people that don't want to read will just look for the screenshots, right? You just cater for everyone, I guess.
Yes, rather than treat others as we want to be treated, right? So, I swear my whole life changed when I learned that. So the curse of knowledge, Jimmy, I would say that most bookkeepers, and I have been there, done that, most bookkeepers are getting this stuff wrong. And I know that because I'm working with them and they come into my program. And when I tell them this stuff, they're like, mind is blown. You know what I mean? And then they're like, Jeannie, I rang a client or I did something other than long form email. I tell them if there's more than 9 words on that email, you're in trouble, right? And they are amazed at the engagement and how the client's then happier. The client starts buying more. The client starts referring to them. The client starts opening up and being honest about how much they hated the old way. I really want bookkeepers to listen to what we just said there, because if you feel like, oh my goodness, this is all new, I've never done any of this, and my clients get it wrong or I'm frustrated, this is a fork in the road where you get to decide if you're going to go in a new direction that is going to increase your client satisfaction and make your life easier as well. So you can probably tell how passionate I am about that stuff.
You might like this. You're probably doing it already, to be honest. But one of my favorite things around client comms, and this is especially good when you're just starting out with a new client, right? They've signed on, they pay this money or whatever deposit, depends how you're doing it. And then you go and do the work and it's just crickets, right? To them, it's crickets. They don't hear anything for weeks. So my favorite thing, and this is not just bookkeepers, this is for designers, agencies, like literally everyone, the weekly email, which is 3 points, what we did this week, what we're doing next week, what we're waiting on. And like anyone can do that, right? Like you just go to all your clients and send that email. You know, you could drop the link to Content Snare. This is what we're still waiting on. But the first 2, like what we did this week, what we're doing next week, it's just nice to know that stuff's being done. And the whole no update as well. You're still thinking of them. Nothing's happened this week because of these reasons. We're still waiting, whatever, right? Like just comms being like, we're still doing stuff.
Comms. Yeah. Comms as a secret marketing weapon. I've written that down because we realized that the hard way, right? Because this is where feedback is my love language. I once had a client complaint and sent her gifts. It's only when I learn that I can improve, right? And a client once said to me, when I press go, I'm so excited. I'm so happy. But exactly that. She goes, and then it was crickets. And a week went by and I was like, what's happening? And I'm like, oh, I know what's happening, but I don't tell you what's happening.
100%.
It's so kind of stupid, right? It's simple. So then we went, number one, let's tell them exactly what to expect next. So we call that, onboarding comms. And then what we do, and again, we get our bookkeepers doing this because I said, your best clients are the quietest clients. So they're actually the ones that 6 months goes by, you know what I mean? And they've barely heard from you. That's not relationship building.
Yeah.
And then they leave because somebody offered them champagne and chocolates, and you're like, but I did such a good job and they seemed really happy. Every single client, some you will end up talking to naturally throughout the month. But if you do not talk to a client through the month, literally on the phone, you have to phone them. Every client deserves a phone call once a month. But I love your, what are we doing this week? That's what it was, isn't it?
Yeah, what we just did, what we've done this week, what we're going to do next week. But you can adapt this, right? Like it just has to be a little update, like what's been done, and we're still waiting on you for stuff.
Yeah, they can expect it with a little subject that weekly check-in. And they're like, that's that one from my bookkeeper. And it's such great marketing.
It's just nice to have a framework too, because otherwise certain people struggle to write emails. I heard a story just today, actually, where someone said, because I've never understood the AI drafting of emails. It takes me 2 seconds to do this. Like, why would I draft a random reply? But in this case, it was a guy that has trouble replying to emails. He doesn't know what to say. He was like, oh yeah, that reply is good enough. I see the direction. Like, I know how to write. I'll fix this and send it. So I think along the same vein, if you have a framework to follow, you know that on Fridays, I send this email to my client. It's easy, right? Like, look at your project management, see what was done. Okay, those are the 3 things we did. I'll just put that in the email. You could automate this stuff if you wanted to go down that track and automatically give you a list of all the things that were done each week, but that's probably a bit advanced for a podcast.
Yeah, and like we could have, we're working on your account this week, we're continuing next week, and any queries we have are in this sheet, and it could literally just be going out by itself. All right, I love all this stuff. One of the things that Claire said she's using Content Snare for, which dazzled me, and we didn't dive into the details, she said she is selling 0 training packages delivered via Content Snare.
Interesting. I did not know that. Claire's an awesome customer, by the way. I have to thank her for referring you along to it. But there could be 2 things here. So I know some people use Content Snare for upselling, like an onboarding questionnaire. They might say, hey, what's your level? 0? No, nothing. And if it's nothing, it's like, hey, we do have these packages. Are you interested in that? Yes. Now, future vision, and this may be coming soon, we're really discussing this right now, is payments embedded in Content Snare. So they could go, yes, I am interested, and just pay as part of the form. Or maybe she's saying she actually delivers the training through Content Snare, which is like what I was talking about before, where every question can have instructions. And then it's just like a video in there. So we do security awareness training as part of our ISO 27001, which is our security certification. As part of that, we need to do security awareness training for all our staff. And we actually do it with Content Snare. So it's a video, this is what phishing looks like. Here's how to be aware of phishing. Here are some examples, maybe a couple of questions, which is almost like a quiz. They have to get those questions right to pass the training. Yeah. But you don't have to do that. If it's just watch this video, then you might just have a box to say, mark this lesson completed. So yeah, I don't know if she's doing delivery through Content Snare. I might need to ask her, but that is a way we've seen it used. But also, yeah, if it's the upsell, she might be talking about doing the upsell through Content Snare as well.
Yeah, I know she likes the question by question. And I'm just looking over here at your website because I noticed there was a spot specifically for bookkeepers and accountants.
Yeah, so that's kind of our main industry now. It didn't start out like that, but we built the product for web designers originally, and about 2021, we discovered bookkeepers and accountants using it, and we sort of didn't really know the value they were getting from it at that time, and once that became obvious, we were all in on accounting and bookkeeping.
Yeah, I recommended it. So my partner mainly helps Aussies take their super and buy a home with it, right, like for investment. Oh, yeah. And there's so many questions and moving parts. And he's a great project manager. So when I told him you're on our podcast, he's like, oh, I did say. I have to get onto that, don't I? I'm like, yes, you do. And so I'm looking here, the simple, stress-free way to request information from accounting clients. Amazing. Look, like I said, number 1 bugbear globally, followed by how to find new clients. All right. So for everyone listening, you can just go to contentsnare.com. And you can just do a demo. You can do anything you like. You can reach out to us. And if you want us to organize anything for you, but yeah, head to the website. Anything else that you'd like to share, Jimmy?
No, I think that was it. I mean, just on what you were saying there, I think the free trial is probably what I'd recommend people start with, just so they can muck around. No credit card required. People can set up an account use our bookkeeping onboarding template in like seconds, so that, send it to yourself and just play around with it. But yeah, I really like how this conversation got towards comms and just making a better client experience. It's something you do need to step back and think about. And this can be with Content Snare or not with Content Snare. You just need to think about what is the experience the client's going through from when they meet you. What's the first email they receive from you? What's the booking experience for that initial chat look like? And then what's your follow-up like? And what does the proposal look like? Is that a good experience? What's our follow-up from the proposal if they don't sign straight away? What are those emails like? You actually have to step through that process and go, is this all a not disjointed experience from the client's end? Because it's so easy to get just stuck down into doing the work. And from your end, everything's peachy, but it might not be from them, from their end.
Yeah. And unfortunately, your clients will leave you for a poor experience, even if you are the world's best technically skilled bookkeeper. And so what I love to say to people, Jimmy, about that before we kind of wrap up, I know bookkeepers out there can sometimes now think, oh my goodness, like there's another thing to do. I didn't even know what customer experience was, right? Really? I just want to go and reconcile bank accounts. But a really easy way to think of this is, first of all, think of a lap around the sun a year. The first thing to do is go out where you are a consumer. So you're buying your favorite products and services, right? I do this. I'm like a forensic customer experience person. So I go into shops or when I'm buying services as well, and I actually observe the customer experience and how easy or hard it is. And I compare everyone. And then I go into my favorite ones like the Cotton On Group here in Australia, right? That just get everything right. And my Samba teacher, her too. I get myself deep into the funnel kind of thing. I want to go through the funnel. I want to feel everything. I want something to arrive at my home. I want to try returning it. I want to see what the comms are like. I'll get an email and now there's a special offer and I've got to, something. So first, look at what you like and you don't like as a consumer. Your customer experience on the job rather than off the job. So if you're a bookkeeper in practice, you want to exactly kind of what Jimmy is saying there, and that is somebody reaches out to you. How easy was it to book, right? Seek information. Ask the question, what was that like? Sometimes they'll be honest with you. Seek the negative, seek the constructive criticism. And then like I did in my practice, whenever somebody gives you a little bit of icky information, like too many emails or Jeannie, it was crickets, I didn't know. That's when incrementally you want to improve that customer experience. And we are trying to do that every day, every week, but just 1% each time.
1% better every day, yes. Just jogged a thought there where it's like a lot of people do this at the end of a Content Snare, just go, were any of these questions difficult? Or was any part of the process so far sucked, And like you said, encouraging the negative, like, hey, what don't you like about this? Not like, was it all good? Was everything okay? Because everyone's going to be like, yeah, of course it is. They don't want to hurt your feelings. So you're going to say, what bits weren't good? And I usually say, please don't hold back. Be brutal. You're not going to hurt my feelings. This is the most helpful stuff. I want to know the negatives. Like I literally say, please be brutal.
Yeah, I do too. I say the good stuff won't necessarily help me improve. But if you have any constructive criticism, if you have any complaint, anything negative, even if it's little, it gives me the opportunity to improve. And they're like, okay, Jeannie, if you really want it. And it's like, yeah. One of my mentors say feedback is my fuel. And I think it's really true. Love customer experience. So yeah, I love that this went by way of comms as well. So Jimmy, thank you for coming on the podcast today.
No worries, Jeannie. That was awesome.
We'll see you again soon. Okay, my friend, now it is time to take action. So what are you going to do with what you learned today? The way I see it, you've got two options. You can go it alone to try and save some money, or you can back yourself and go for it and join my tribe. And let me tell you, we are knocking it out of the ballpark. That's not a sales pitch. That is me serving you, dare I say, courageously. To find success, I 100% know you need the mechanics, which is like the keys to the kingdom, but you also need to get your mindset right and be super productive. And these are all things I help you with inside the program. I could go on about this forever because I really want this for you. Have a prosperous week, and I'll see you in the next episode.